Now again, You Asked For It, and your host, Jack
Smith. Operator, I'm on this extension when that Newark, New Jersey call comes through. Yes, we're putting through a call to the writer of this next request, Mr. Harold L. Norton of New York City. Now, he wrote, back in 1926, I landed at Loose Ends in Hollywood and drifted into silent pictures as an extra, the first being Old Ironsides. My part, of course, was very small. I was a young American sailor on the fighting deck of Old Ironsides with George Bancroft as our gun captain. Also starring was another favorite, Wallace Beery. And it features Charlie Farrell and Esther Ralston as well. Believe it or not, I never did get to see my first picture. How I regretted my oversight. So is it possible for you to get this film, especially the scene in which I appear, so I might see myself in Old Ironsides? Well, now, to answer Mr. Norton's request wasn't easy. First, we had to obtain these still photographs from the files of the Paramount Publicity Department. These were then sent to Mr. Norton in New Jersey, who, as you can see, circled his own pictures for identification. Then we combed through yards of film footage until we found the exact scene in which Mr. Norton played his small but all-important role to him many years ago with... Hello? Hello, Mr. Norton. You excited being with us?
Yes, sir, I certainly am.
Well, Mr. Norton, from your letter, you seem pretty fond of Hollywood in the old days. You were a handsome youngster. Why didn't you stay with the movies?
It was a lot of fun, all right. But my father had a factory here in Newark, and he wanted me to come home and work with him, so I finally did.
I see. Well, Mr. Norton, we're going to keep you on the phone. There'll be some questions that we'll be wanting to ask you during the film. Are you comfortable? Can you see all right?
You bet. I'm certainly comfortable here.
Good. Then, Mr. Norton, here we go back into your past, back to the summer of 1926 to see you again as a young man. You asked for it. Here it is, Mr. Norton, Old Ironsides. And here's a scene most everyone will remember. That's Wallace Beery and George Bancroft. Where were these scenes taken, Mr. Norton?
Why, they were taken off the coast of the Isthmus of Catalina Island.
Well, from these scenes, it's easy to see there were thousands in the cast. Who directed Old Ironsides?
That was James Screws.
How did he ever manage to coordinate all this action? Did he shout through a megaphone?
He didn't use a megaphone for these battle scenes. He was on top of a hill overlooking the bay, directing the movements of the ships by means of a shortwave radio.
Uh-oh, now they're fighting among themselves. That was a dummy, of course, but with all this action, were there a lot of injuries?
There were just a few minor casualties. Remarkable.
Certainly is. How long did it take to shoot these scenes?
Oh, I'd say it was 4 or 5 weeks altogether.
Well, now, Mr. Norton, sit back and relax. Your big moment is at hand. Watch the upper right-hand corner of your screen. That's you, a member of George Bancroft's fighting gun crew aboard the indestructible Old Ironsides. That was you, Mr. Norton, many years ago amid all this flame and fury. So let's turn the film back and take a closer look. Now let's have our cameraman move in on that man in the upper right-hand corner. Thanks, Cran. That's all. Well, Mr. Norton, we want to thank you for sending us this request.
Well, I want to thank you, too, for bringing this to me. I never thought I'd get to see it.
Well, believe me, we couldn't have answered your request without the cooperation of Paramount Studios, producers of Old Ironsides, as well as such great all-time movies as The Ten Commandments. Yes, Mr. Norton, you relived a precious moment of your youth, and we all had a chance to share it with you. Goodbye. And remember, You asked for it.